Madness Unspoken.
A dark room, a mirror, a candle, and a name you should never say out loud. They call her Bloody Mary. For generations, children have whispered her name in the shadows, daring one another to stand before a mirror and test their courage. For some, it was nothing but a game. For others, it was a memory they would never forget. This is not a story of poisoned candy or a father's betrayal like Ronald O'Brien, the Candy Man. This is something different, something older. A story born out of fear, passed from one child to another. It is only a game until the moment you believe it. This is the story of Bloody Mary. The legend is simple, and perhaps that is why it spread so far. The rules are the same almost everywhere. You find a mirror, usually a bathroom mirror, and you turn off the lights. Sometimes you light a candle. Sometimes you go in with nothing at all. And then you stare into the glass and repeat the name once, twice, 3 times. Bloody Mary. In some places, it's said you must say it 13 times. Others claim you must spin in circles as you chant. A few stories even suggest you have to sprinkle water on the mirror, or whisper a secret as you call her name. But no matter the variations, the promise was always the same. If you performed the ritual correctly, Bloody Mary would appear. But who exactly is she? That question is where the legend begins to twist. Some say she was Mary Worth, a witch accused of black magic in colonial America, executed by fire or hanging. Her curse, they claimed, tied her spirit forever to mirrors. Others connect her to Queen Mary, the First of England, remembered for the rivers of blood spilled during her reign. To those who whispered her name, she was the angry ghost of a queen who would not rest. And then there is another version, the saddest one. A young mother, grieving for a child who died too soon. They say she wanders eternally, searching, and if you dare to call her, she mistakes your face for her lost child. But instead of love, what she brings is rage. By the late 20th century, the legend had spread across America. At sleepovers, in school bathrooms, and at Halloween parties, the ritual became a test of courage. Children dared each other. Go on, try it, say her name. Some went in laughing, only to come out pale, swearing they had seen something. Others refused to go in at all, convinced the risk was too real. Picture it, 3 girls huddled in a bathroom, a candle flickering between them. The air feels heavier the moment the lights click off. They see only their reflections in the glass, wide-eyed, their faces glowing in the faint orange flame. And then the whisper begins, Bloody Mary. The first time, it sounds like a joke. They giggle nervously. The second time, the laughter fades. Their voices shake. And by the third time, the silence feels unbearable. Nothing moves, nothing changes. Yet each girl feels as though something is watching them, just behind the glass. From here, the stories split into countless variations. Some claimed they saw her, a pale woman with long dark hair and hollow eyes staring back at them, her face twisted, her mouth stretched into a cruel grin. Others said a bloody handprint appeared on the mirror, vanishing only when the lights came on. And the most terrifying stories whispered of scratches appearing on the arms and faces of those who called her name. Thin, burning lines carved across the skin, as though someone invisible had reached out from the glass. But perhaps the darkest tales were the ones where children swore she tried to pull them in. a cold hand pressing against their chest, fingers tightening around their wrist. And then a scream, a door flung open, and the child running into the hallway, white as a sheet, insisting that she had almost dragged them into her world. It didn't matter whether the story was true. What mattered was that everyone believed it could be. Of course, adults tried to explain it away. Psychologists point to something called the Troxler effect. When you stare at your own face in dim light, your brain begins to distort what you see. Your features shift, your skin seems to melt, your eyes change shape. Eventually, you're no longer staring at yourself, but at a distorted, monstrous reflection. Add to that the power of suggestion, the fear planted by the story itself, and you have the perfect recipe for terror. Your mind becomes the monster. And yet, even knowing this, the fear never truly leaves. Because what if the legend isn't just psychology? What if something does live in the mirror, waiting for the right name to call it out? Decades have passed, but the legend of Bloody Mary has never faded. Today, children still gather in bathrooms during sleepovers and Halloween nights, daring one another to speak her name. Social media and YouTube are full of people filming themselves attempting the ritual. Most laugh when nothing happens, but every so often there are videos where something feels off. A shadow behind the reflection, a candle flickering out at the perfect moment, a reflection that doesn't move when the person does. Bloody Mary endures because she is more than a story. She is a test, a mirror of our own fear. She doesn't need to be real to terrify us. All she needs is your imagination and the courage to whisper her name. But Bloody Mary is not the only legend children dared each other to believe. In the age of the internet, a new figure was born, one without a face, one said to stalk the woods, watching, waiting, a legend that blurred the line between myth and reality and led some to real-world tragedy. The story of Slender Man.